big pharma in a nutshell. Okay. Yes, it is also their ultimate goal with IVF. They want all of us to have to come to them, the government overlords, to be able to have a family. A lot of women today are struggling with fertility issues. That's a real thing, and that is not by accident. That is by design. So there was all of this panic yesterday online. The show was trending because we're beginning to discuss the occult. We're discussing mysticism. These people are literally summoning demons, and they're making blood sacrifices. And now the world recognizes that. I think it's now a mainstreamed conversation, which is fantastic. And I wanted to follow up on that note and show you another clip of Father Ripperger discussing this on Sean Ryan's podcast. He's on there discussing as an exorcist the things that he has come across. It's a fantastic conversation. It's like 4 hours long. You should watch the entire thing. But in particular, in this clip, he's going to discuss how coming into contact, Freemasonry, essentially, and how people can raise the ranks through the occult families, how they get involved with these mystic cults in general. Anyway, take a listen.
If you are in the occult, do you just arrive at that level where you're doing satanic rituals, or do you graduate?
Some graduate. Some are actually they're trained in this stuff from the very beginning. Sometimes they're actually groomed. Where they'll watch them in college, or they'll watch them and then they'll introduce them into this through various secret societies and things of that sort. They'll get them into engaging in the occult. There's a few of these people, not many of them, that are actually part of a pedigree or history that extends back to the late 1500s, 1600s, where the occult practices has been in their family lineage literally for 300 to 400 years. And so they're so proficient in the knowledge about how this stuff works and what is actually involved. They know that there's demons and God, etc., and they know that their activity in the occult is getting demons actually involved. They fully know that. In fact, their knowledge of this stuff is almost on the same level as mine. And so they have a full understanding of it, but they're on the side of evil. And so they tend to raise their children generation after generation within that particular occult set of practices.
That is exactly right, ladies and gentlemen. These bloodlines are ancient. These practices are ancient. And the reason why they're constantly moving people all over the world is they don't want you to have this ancestral knowledge. They don't want you to know that they're doing this stuff in broad daylight. The revelation of the method. They're kind of telling you they're doing these things. More on that later. The point here is that Epstein was definitively of the mystic Frankist ilk. He was practicing mystical Judaism. There is no question about that. It always involves occult rituals which involve harming innocent children. And regarding Jeffrey Epstein in particular, I want to throw it back to this tweet that I published on Thursday, January 29th of this year. It's really interesting in retrospect because I truly did not know what it might amount to. So the backstory here is that I had received a couple of emails from people that follow and watch the show at the White House, and they said, hey, Candace, Andrew Colbert, Mikey McCoy, and a couple of women look like Mikey McCoy's wife. They were in the West Wing, and, we just thought that's kind of odd because Andrew just presented as though he was live on the Charlie Kirk show doing a phone call with Kash Patel, but actually he's here. He's in front of us here in Washington, D.C. on the other side of the country. So I followed up with them and I asked them specifically who was Andrew Colbert and allegedly Mikey McCoy and co meeting with. Could you guys ask around and figure this out, where you saw them? And they said, well, and I'll quote this, the offices in that general region are senior White House staff.